mentioned this the last couple of videos. I went to Hostile Shop, and they're a company up in Stevens Point, Wisconsin that sells recumbents and parts and things like that. So I went to their website and I ordered some crank arms for my Schlumpf Drive, 155 crank arms. So I had 155s in it before. They're a lot shorter, help me to spin better, and they don't make my feet hit the back of the shell or the top of the shell inside when I'm pedaling. So I got 155 crank arms, and that should help a lot. So now I'm going to throw this thing back together and maybe take it for a test ride. Here I'm just going to move the pedal, and you see how it doesn't go anywhere, and it's very stiff. It's very stiff. I mean, I'm thinking, feels like something's dragging in there or something like that. I can't really tell. So I'm going to take it apart and show you what it's like when I take the cog off, and we'll go from there. And that's basically just taking off these 4 screws, and I'm going to lift off this whole thing and then take the cover off that's in there and see if I can see anything, which the last time I just had it off a few minutes ago I didn't see anything, but I'll take it off, so stand by. Okay, so here it is, just loosened up a little bit, not even taken off all the way. And you see how it at least has some spin to it. This is how much I was doing it on the last one. So I can, and at least it moves some. It does feel a lot freer. So I'm going to open up and take a look at it one more time, but I didn't see anything last time. Somehow it's rubbing, but I can't tell how or why. Okay, I found the issue, and it's not in the place that I would have expected it. So the chain ring, this is a new chain ring. This is a 65 chain ring that I got, and then this is the Schlumpf mounting hardware, right? So that's everything that holds the Schlumpf drive. And this ring for the inside of the Schlumpf drive that goes in here doesn't fit inside the chain ring. It doesn't sit down in there properly, and because of that it's a little bit off, and I think that's pressing it out. So I might have to modify that chain ring a little bit. We'll see. I'm going to take a closer look at this. Okay, yeah, where I've had the little bit of damage right here, I'm just going to have to make sure that that's not in the way, because I think what it was forcing it out of sync, and it wasn't working. So I'm going to have to make sure that that's not in the way. So I'll put it together and try this again. That was it, my friends. That little thing was just off a little bit, causing it to be out of balance and warp. So now it should go back together. Okay, that's better. I get a full revolution out of it before I have to spin it again. So I understand that there's going to be some resistance on a Schlumpf drive just due to the planetary gear system and all that stuff. But now that I got it mounted correctly, it seems to be working fine. Okay, so I think it's ready for a test ride. And one of the other things that I'm going to test out is my brand new windshield that I made out of some real thin plastic, and I also made one for the Eyeball 1.0 and gave it to the new owner. Alright, so a couple things. The 65 tooth gear on the front, I can tell I haven't worked out with it. First time I've been riding with that one. And I mean, you're moving a lot of chain there, so it's moving a lot. It's a big old piece of pie into there. And so far, I have not spun out, because for me that would be going pretty fast. Even on a downhill, I didn't gear all the way up. So there's that. The new windshield forces the air up over me and hits me about in the forehead, which is perfect, because then it's not hitting me in the face, drying me out, going right in my mouth, that kind of stuff. The flaming eyeball koozies are working pretty good. And I agree with somebody on the internet who said, why is the question Coke or Pepsi when the answer is Dr. Pepper? This is, like I said, my 5-mile test route. It's right at, give or take, 5 miles, which is really flat for a couple of miles. And I can get a pretty good indication of what I can do with this thing once I get back up to speed and get my legs used to riding again, especially with such a large gear. So here we go. Okay, so one of the other things I've noticed is my wiring job is not very good. I'm gonna have to strip some wires and put them together again, because either the wiring harness is bad or where I joined them, the splice is bad. So I'm gonna have to redo that. But what that tells me is I don't have any brake lights, turn signals, things like that. So they're intermittent. I'm gonna have to mess with those connections. They weren't the best. See, I didn't even do anything. Yeah, so that's kind of messed up. I'm gonna have to fix that. Now I'm back in the driveway. That was pretty good. I was averaging 24, 25 miles an hour on that part of Darbytown Road that I always like to do as my flat test, that 2 miles. Here's the test. I forgot to shift down for whatever reason. I'm in a pretty high gear because I've been cruising pretty fast. I'm gonna try the Schlumpf Drive just in the driveway and see what it does. All right, so I've just downshifted. Just hit the button with my heel and I'm gonna climb the hill and see how it feels. So it's gonna be more about the wheels keeping traction than anything else. Yeah, that's gonna work out nicely. If I have to climb a really big hill for a long time, that'll work. So Schlumpf Drive is back in. I think I've got all the details worked out. Works fine. Looks like the bar, might not have held as good as I thought. Looks like it's got a little twist on it, but I can't tell if that was from the installation or from me driving it. So I'll look into that. I may have to get the bottom bracket from Velomobiel.nl that's used to mount these things, or I'm gonna have to try a different kind of bracket. All right, until next time, cheers. It is no fun to go out on a hot, humid day. That was only 5 miles, and there's plenty of sweat down in the bucket there.